Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. How retro can you get? Well, these are what video gamers were doing in November 1982.
Police Squad, in color.
It's time for the latest release of Electronic Games magazine. This is November's issue, so you probably got this one sometime in October. Let's check it out. The front cover has a lot to it. We're going to see it all. Tron, from film to game and back. What do you mean, and back? It went back to the film? Or just lots of people making Tron video games? And we have, as usual, Electronic Games covers everything. Video games, console games, computer games, handheld games, arcade games, all of it. And we got Sherlock Holmes investigating computers. It's the gamer's guide to microcomputers. And we do lots of home computers here, so let's see what they have in here. We also have goodies for gamers, too. I'll take some of those. And then Vectrex, king of the standalones? Yes, it is. It's awesome. And then we have Dial-A-Game. We're going to see what that one's all about. All right, let's crack it open. Smell that November 1982 right inside. Starting with ColecoVision, an ad that we have seen. Have we seen all the games over here on the side? Let's see. Oh, wait, that's... this is the expansion module that you can play Atari with. So, yes, we've seen all those games on the Atari that you can now play on ColecoVision. As far as ColecoVision only games, we played 10 up to this point on the show, or 10 of the games that are out right now. I would call this the bigger hit. ColecoVision is the bigger hit compared to the Atari 5200 as far as consoles go. State of the art. All right, let's keep going. We're going to breeze right by the table of contents because we're just going to see the entire magazine. Over here on the right side, we have a SpectraVision ad. Popping out of the back of the car, the back of the truck. Everyone's flying out of there. 5 hottest new video games ever. There we go. Sweet. So Gangster Alley, Planet Patrol. We've seen everything by SpectraVision except Crossforce. I don't think we're going to see that one until 1983. Maybe early 1983. But SpectraVision's been all right on the scene as far as console games go, but not like super impressive. They're not an Activision or a Magic. All right, let's keep flipping on. Now we're ready to go. Here we go. This is the birthday celebration of Electronic Games. They've done it for 1 year since 1981. There it is. That's the one we saw. The very first issue. We've seen every issue up to this point. This is the 9th issue of Electronic Games magazine. Excellent. And we'll keep on reading them. I love this magazine because it's doing what we do. We try to cover every single video game. This is only in North America, so you know we wouldn't cover everything all over the world. It's even a broader spectrum what we do on the show. But this is still really good. Give me a magazine right now in November 1982 that's doing something globally, because I don't think there is one. All right, then over on the right side we got Comavid, another third-party publisher on the Atari 2600, and we got Room of Doom. Yeah, we've seen that one. Room of Doom was pretty good. Cosmic Swarm, Mines of Minos, but the bigger story is Mission Omega, the last mission from Earth, and only you can save the universe. So according to an interview with some ex-Comavid employees, the game was finished and sent to the programmer for some fine-tuning. It was never refinished in time for release, so that's another lost video game. Does anyone have a prototype of Mission Omega out there somewhere? This is what we usually do. We see this on the magazines. When we read them on the show, this is another shout out to a lost game. Mission Omega doesn't exist. Let me know if you find a prototype. All right, let's keep seeing what else we have in Electronic Games. Man, I'm having so much fun. I love this magazine. If I could, I spend a lot more time on it than just for the show. All right, so this is the hotline, like previews, what's going to be coming out. You got Larry Kaplan's Bridge game. Or are they talking about Bridge games? I guess for the Bridge fans out there. Then we got an Atari report. Hey, Raiders of the Lost Ark is due to be released shortly. We kind of broke schedule and played Raiders because Howard Scott Warshaw was on the show. So that one's already been seen, even though it's not truly exactly out right now. It's pretty close. But then they said it's being replaced, or they're replacing Foxbat on this year's schedule. I have no idea what Foxbat is. Does anyone know? What in the world is that? Foxbat. Is that supposed to be a game on the Atari 2600? Never heard of it. And it also says that Sword Quest is going to be... We've seen the first Sword Quest, and then the other ones are supposed to come out, but we already know the story behind that. And then Berserk, Star Raiders, yes, all on the Atari 5200. Yes, they also say the Atari 5200 is going to be selling as little as $219 for Christmas. Oh, is that all? That's not too bad. All right, so I love the different articles for a few things, like arcade tax rejected in LA. And then this one, Lockjaw got sued by Universal because they thought Lockjaw would be confused with Jaws and Jaws 2. So they renamed the game Shark Attack. Why would they rename it Shark Attack? Wouldn't Lockjaw be more like Jaws? Oh, I guess because Jaw. Oh my gosh, because the word Jaws in it. My goodness. And then over here we got Tron. Oh, the massive arcade cabinet. Man, it looks awesome. Yeah, it doesn't look great. So good. Yeah, we already seen that one earlier in the year. Tron has been saturating video games. We've seen plenty of video games by Tron up to this point. I love that one. All right, so flipping on to the next page. We got the vanity board. Put in your high scores now. The arcade high scores to beat. Let's see what Frogger's looking like. Frogger, the record currently is 117,730. But pick your favorite arcade game. Here are the top arcade scores right now in November 1982. Every single one of these arcade games we've seen on the show. I'm looking at just to do a quick review. Yeah, Omega Race, Galaga, Tempest. Man, all the top ones. Classic, the golden age of arcade games. Wow, it's so cool. Is Donkey Kong Jr. on there? I don't see it. We've seen it, though. I think it's been... Yeah, it's already in North America up to this point. That's true. You have to have an arcade cabinet to play it. And then over on this side, we have the Supercharger by Arcadia. The one that plugs into your Atari 2600, gives it some more RAM. And then there's the games we played. Phaser Patrol, Communist Mutants from Space, Fireball, Suicide Match. Oh, and then look, the Vectrex right here. Wait, where did it go? It totally flipped me to the next page. There it is. Vectrex. Only $200. And one controller. Extra controller is $35. Man, this is great. This is the hottest video games, or the best of the best, at least that you get right now. Phaser Patrol is fantastic. It is a really, really good game. All right, so let's flip on to the next one. Next page has the favorite games. Or actually, first up here is a Moonbase IO contest, and I believe that one's for the Atari home computer. Yeah, that's the Moonbase. I think that's the same Moonbase IO that we've seen. They have a contest going for it. I don't think I rated it for or put a contest as a flag for the game. And then we have some mini arcade cabinets fight Coleco. And then here we go, the top picks of video games right now as far as electronic games readers go. So we got video game cartridges. Now, when they say video game cartridges, they're talking about console games. So everything on, you can see here Atari VCS, Intellivision, the Odyssey 2, and I think that's it. That's all they show as far as the top console games. Defender is number 1 on the Atari VCS right now on EGM, and then Pac-Man. Pac-Man's still up there at number 2. Find that hard to believe. Demon Attack, it should be higher than Pac-Man. Maybe they're going. No, they're not going by sales. They're going by people that say it. Yes. And then we have Adventure still holding. That's pretty cool. Astro Smash. I don't know why that one's there. Yar's Revenge definitely should be higher than Astro Smash. Star Master, Missile Command. And then Major League Baseball on the Intellivision. Oh, nice. Casey Munchkin has an appearance here, too. The ripoff of Pac-Man, Chopper Command, Star Strike, Quest for the Rings, and then UFO. Yeah, I wonder if they put Odyssey 2 and Intellivision on here. Could see Casey Munchkin as a higher rating, but not Star Strike or Astro Smash. I wonder if they just put that to just show other consoles. And then we have computer games. Number 1 is still Star Raiders on the Atari home computer. So they're covering not just the consoles, they're covering computers here too. And we have Jawbreaker, Missile Command, Castle Wolfenstein. Nice. Wait a second. Where I see Wizardry. Where's Ultima? Ultima's not on here. I mean, Wizardry is excellent, but I know that the release of Ultima wasn't, as widespread. I guess it goes to show, know your publisher and make sure your publisher is marketing your game, because Ultima should be on the list and it's not. And then we got Crazy Shootout. That one's like Berserk and Mouse Attack. And then we have the most popular games that everyone said in electronic games for arcade. Yeah, Tempest is number 1. So cool. Donkey Kong's 2. And it does say down here that, does it say? No, it doesn't say Donkey Kong Jr. We got Zaxxon, Pac-Man. Pac-Man's still number 1 over Miss Pac-Man. That's interesting. Too cool. And then over here on the side, awesome. Look at that. Yes. 2-1 over Atari and Intellivision. Real arcade action. It is the only way to play vector-based video games at home. Yeah, Mom's way too excited for the Vectrex. She's excited as as excited as I am right now for the Vectrex. All right, let's keep going. It is awesome. I would actually rate that as the best thing to buy for the holiday right now, or before we get to the end of 1982. Maybe it was too hard for most people. It was way ahead of its time. I'll give it that. All right, here we go. We got Magnavox Odyssey on. So cool. There we go, on cereal boxes. Sweet. All right, so we got the top arcade scoreboards of the best games for consoles. So you can see right here, the games eligible are UFO, Asteroids, Grand Prix, Auto Racing, Galactic Invasion, Space Chase, and Defender. So this is awesome. You can put in your high scores to see how you rate against everyone else on console games. Look at that for Asteroids. Number one right now is 199,930. Wow. Crazy honor roll. And then up here is an ad or an article about the games the stars play. Reggie Jackson of the California Angels loves Pac-Man. Well, everyone does right now, right? It's Pac-Man fever. Sweet. And then in the arcade, Donkey Kong is king. Donkey Kong Jr. forced Atari's Tempest out of the top slot only for 1 month, and then Tempest took it over. I thought so. Donkey Kong Jr. was on there, and it's already gone that fast. And then we have some other releases showing for video games with Night Stalker, Pac-Man, Caverns of Mars. So this is like just top games that are just new coming out. Dig Dug, they're saying, is doing very well, and Robotron. All this we've seen on the show. Sweet. Oh, really? They sold like hotcakes for the Intellivision? Okay, so maybe I underestimated. I wasn't as impressed. It was good. It was good on television, but not that good. And then we got some other articles here. Students working hard to play. Oh, because they have to get A's. Oh, nice. You can get tokens at the arcade if your report card's good. That's a good incentive. All right, flipping on to the next one. Here's the Reader's Replay. Over here we have something a little interesting. First one is they have people that wrote in about the... what is this they have? Okay, they have some robots at the top. But then they have someone asking about Bally Astrocade. They subscribed to the Arcadian and Bally Express newsletters, and they all stopped without warning. They didn't get told they'd stop. And then they brought up that they did some phone calls and determined that they've run out of contacts. But they talked about the Astrocade Underground. It's a saga of gamers refusing to stop the Bally Astrocade, or at this point, it's the Videocade, whatever company you bought it from. And so this is something I've never heard of before. The Astrocade Underground. People are making software like independent game designers. They say Mike Peace of Wave Makers is publishing their own games for the other console. At this point, I think we've seen only 30 games or something like that for the Astrocade. Not a whole lot, but here's some screenshots of games we will not see on the show because I have no idea where they are. First one's Monkey Jump that they did on the Bally Astrocade. The other one is Castle of Horror. If anybody knows any information about these two games that's part of the Astrocade Underground, I can't find any information online for this. So another couple of games that might be lost to time. Sweet. All right, there you go. So that's that one. Over here, we got to add for Firefighter. We've already seen. Yeah, he's on fire. Firefighter's pretty fun. All right, then flip it on to the next page. We got some more reader mail that came in for Defender. Over here, we got the Zaxxon Champ. Look at him. Meko. And look at the screen. Look at the screenshot. It's not even a screenshot. It's a photograph. You can barely make out his high score on the on the cabinet. Very proud, making a face that just shows how proud he is. Yes, someone does, Brad, in a box somewhere. Someone made a Pac-Man quilt. Nice. And then over here we see an ad for Riddle of the Sphinx. Yes. Yes, it's so difficult. Poor Gary can't do it. It's tricky. We didn't solve it here on the show, but Riddle of the Sphinx is one of the really fun ones that's out there. And then we got a really large article about Tron, and they break down the arcade game. You can see on the left, there's sequences from the movie, and at this point, I think we've seen Tron in every magazine. They showcase the graphics behind the movie, the sound behind the movie. Everyone's talking about Tron. It's big. All the gamers love it. That would be awesome. We need AC/DC to fund the show. Okay, so and then over here we have more on Tron, and then over on the right side, something by Starplex. another video game controller, and we're going to see a lot of that. Lots of other third-party controllers. We don't really hit on a lot of hardware here on the show because we're just focused on the games themselves. And if the game has, a controller that's included or plays on it, then we mention it. But there's a lot of other controllers out there. All right, flip it on to the next one. Yes, it is the Vectrex. Awesome. King of the standalones is what they call it. Its own vector graphics monitor. There it is. Only a 9-inch monitor, but hey, if you have the only one television at your house, this would be so cool, so awesome. All right, yeah, if you're in other regions, you probably were a little left out. Here, North America is still on top. We're like teetering on the edge of the video game world. Japan's catching up though, and we also have in Europe, United Kingdom is catching up quite a bit. So for other regions, I'm sure other people are watching the show in other places. We've seen a few things from Australia, Italy, and other countries, but yeah, United States is still on top for now. Over here on the right, we got Fun in the Sun. It is, where is it? It's Baja Buggies, which we haven't seen yet. I believe we're going to see that somewhere around December on the show. So it's not officially out. Maybe it is. What does it say? Yeah, it doesn't say right here, but we'll be catching this one later. Who knows if it'll be good or not. Over here on the next one, this is still going on with the Vectrex just raving about it. And over here we have Scramble, which I don't think we've seen this one yet. It's coming out soon. But we're going to be seeing we're going to see more Vectrex games in November and then in December. So lots more that are going to be coming out. They say Hyper Chase, Star Trek, Mindstorm. This is Donkey Kong's going to come? Oh, Donkey Kong on the ColecoVision. Okay, yeah, that's not coming. Sweet. That's great. And then over here we got a handheld. Is that the Donkey Kong one? Which one is that? I can't make out the... it's the widescreen version of one of them. But they're talking about the... Oh, there it is. It's Donkey Kong Fire Attack, Snoopy Tennis, and Turtle Bridge. Sweet. Yeah, and they also say the few others, Scramble and Clean Sweep. Oh, and Ripoff. We're going to be seeing Ripoff on the Vectrex pretty soon, too. Oh, wow. What is this? Projection? Oh, look at this. It's a way to make your screen larger. What? Anybody have that? I have no idea if that was worth the money or not. And then over here, we got more third-party controllers. Grab the handle and fire button. And then, yes, a trackball, too. Sweet. All right, so here we got some different games that are going to be the bigger hitters or more recent ones that are out now. And this one we just saw really close on the show. Planet Patrol, the one that has you going around the planet, going to the night cycle. So fun. So I believe we get 3.5 stars. It was pretty good. Yeah, it has they're calling it like Defender Stargate, but it's not really like that. You're constantly moving and shooting. Yeah, it can't hold a candle to those. But man, oh man, take a look at all this great artwork. This is another reason I like Electronic Games Magazine. They hit you with all kinds of stuff. And over here, Atari's #1 in North America for now. And all these games we've seen that you can now see on the ColecoVision with Expansion Module 1. Why even get the Atari right now? Yes, Atari is suing their asses off. By the way, they're also going to be having a new system. Coleco is going to be releasing the Coleco Gemini, which we're not going to really play on the show because the Gemini is essentially an Atari. It's just Coleco's version of the Atari. I think we'll have an ad we'll see for it, but not the system itself. Okay, over here on the next side, we have Pirate Chase for the Astrocade, which we haven't seen yet. We're going to be seeing that one at some time in November. I couldn't pin down exactly when it was released. Maybe I could say right now because we're seeing it in Electronic Games, but I'm not so sure. Oh, it was just a magnifying glass? Okay. Yeah, not as clear. Yeah, okay, then it probably wasn't worth it. And then over here on the right side, we have Night Stalker. Excellent. We've already seen the Atari 2600 M Network port of Night Stalker. And then Lost Luggage, we just saw that one. I don't know if you can hear in the background, I'm playing loops of different games and commercials while we're reading the magazine. I did find Lost Luggage has a record. They were trying to make a song for Lost Luggage that's like Pac-Man Fever. Didn't catch on, but it is playing in the background some point in this loop, if you can hear it. All right, let's keep flipping on to the next one. And then we have an ad for M Network. All these cartridges down here in the bottom right, we've seen them all. All the times that Mattel said, let's get more money on the Atari VCS and not just on the Intellivision. They could do that too, Manly. I'm not going to go for it. All right, let's keep going. We have, yeah, that's right, the Astrocade. When I was mentioning Pirates, we have played 31 games so far on the Astrocade up to this point. So 31 games are out there for the Astrocade, not nearly as many as all the other systems. And then we have Mega Mania, another one we've seen on the show. Great shoot 'em up, barnstorming. They're talking about Activision here. And there's Lost Luggage. That's exactly what it was like when we played the game. There it is, so fun. There it is, Astrocade. So it's not doing so well as the other consoles out there, but it is better than some. So like top tier, the best is obviously the Atari VCS. At this point, Atari 2600's the number one selling and doing the best. They're pretty much holding the weight of all consoles right now in North America. And then after that, you have them in Intellivision, Magnavox Odyssey 2, and I would say Astrocades after that, but only with a measly 31 games that you could play up to this point. So you can see what they have here in the ad. Nice. Right? Yeah, how many keys? Yeah, look how many keys that is. That's not a normal keypad on the Astrocade. That's why it didn't do so well. All right, here, let's flip to the next one. More Mega Mania. Oh, man, I love the artwork. Excellent. Is that for Food Fight? No, yeah, it's for Mega Mania because all the food's flying at you. Then we have Defender. This first version, in hindsight, when you look back at the first Defender that came out on the Atari 2600, is not as impressive. Right now, it is number one. It's doing great as far as electronic games go. I gave it high ratings. 4 stars, all the games you could play on all home consoles. Hey, there it is, Fast Food. Maybe that's what the guy was snoozing at. There's another one. This is Telesys, another third-party publisher on the Atari. Fast Food's actually all right as far as Telesys games go. So, oh, there's the other one. Coconuts, very large character on the screen for that one to play, but Coconuts is not as super impressive as that. All right, so you can see we have Defender, and then, Pickaxe Pete. Look at this. Yeah, for the Odyssey 2. Now, we've seen this one in both in North America and in the Philips Video Pack in Europe. Pickaxe Pete, I still say, plays and jumps better than Mario. The way that they programmed him to move around, Ed Averitt did a great job on that. And then we have Star Strike on the Intellivision. Excellent. That's really fun. All right, let's keep flipping on to the next page. And we have Midway's design. Oh, and there's Tron. Look at that from in the arcade. Man, they have so much about Tron. And there's so many games about Tron right now. We've already played, I believe, 4 or 5 games from Tron. It's a lot. And over here, Santa's coming. That's another reason I wanted to read the magazine. It's preparing for the holiday season because 1982 is going to be big. And this one does it all. All video games. What in the world? Over here on the left side, this is an ad by UMI. Wait a second. That's for the Commodore VIC-20. I don't think I've ever seen an ad for that. Who's the marketing team for UMI that decided to do Annie as a mime? That's not going to sell. That's not going to sell video games. But we have seen Meteor Run. And here, oh, here they are right down at the bottom. Look at this. It's Meteor Run, Amok, which is like Defender, Satellites and Meteorites, which is like Asteroids, and then Renaissance. We've seen them all by UMI. Look at that. For the Commodore VIC-20, does it even say that? No, it just says, for the fun of Vic, because it's the VIC-20. And there you go. This is the cover for the magazine. This is the big one. The Gamer's Guide to Microcomputers. So right now, November 1982, what's your guide for the holiday season for microcomputers? Oh, really? It was in Compute a lot? We haven't looked through Compute here on the show. Maybe that's why I haven't seen the UMI ad. All right, so here we go. Computers. Ooh. So the first part is, what is a computer? Hopefully we've answered that question if you've been tuning into the show. But yeah, they bring it. One analogy is, while a video game machine is a special purpose tool, the microcomputer is capable of performing a great number of different tasks, like application software. You're not going to find anybody playing VisiCalc on home consoles. And then say if you want to program or not. Then we have the Atari Music Composer. What kind of computers do we have here? Wait, this is all Commodore, right? Oh, yeah. So this is all Commodore peripherals. Printers, disk drives, cassette, and then look at that, the Super PET. And Commodore PET. Where's the VIC? Oh, there it is. There's the VIC-20. What's missing, though, is where's the Commodore 64? We've already seen the Commodore 64 up to this point, but maybe it's not popular enough to be marketed? That's interesting. Yeah, where is it? I thought we would have seen it by now. All right, so over here we have the glossary of different computer terms. And then the VIC-20. Right now it costs under $300. I believe that's what we heard William Shatner tell us too. All right, let's keep flipping to the next one. At this point, we've played 310 Commodore VIC-20 video games. Look at this. And they're highlighting Jupiter Lander, Omega Race, We played 310 Commodore VIC-20 games. So many games that are out there. And then the peripherals, they have a lot that you can plug in. Yeah, they're only hitting on... Oh, then they have Radar Rat Race, too, that they're talking about. All that we've seen on the show, no Commodore VIC-20 game left behind. And even Commodore 64, too, at this point. We've seen under 100 Commodore 64 games so far. Oh, no way, the 400. Yeah, here it is. And the next one's the Atari computer scene. The Atari 400 and the Atari 800. They're talking about the different systems, what the difference is between them. Right here is the Atari 400. That's the one with the membrane keyboard. Not necessarily as bad as the Magnavox Odyssey 2. It's better, but it's still, you can spill a bunch of stuff on it. It's made for kids to make it sticky. But the 800 has the real keyboard. Oh, yeah. At this point, we played 397 games for Atari home computers. Lots and lots of games showcased there. There it is, the Atari 800. Awesome. Love this computer. It's bringing out some of the best music we've heard. And what do we got here? Oh, PDI's Captivity. Yeah, we played that one. Why did you showcase that? That's not, of all the 3D games, there's much better ones out there than Captivity. Then we have Deadline. What are they talking? That's not the same Deadline I think they're talking about. I thought it was Infocom's Deadline. All right, then over here we have Apple. Sweet. Oh, before Apple, though, here, Asteroids in the middle, and then some other games. Jawbreaker, Mega Legs. Jawbreaker is pretty much like Pac-Man. Mega Legs is Centipede, and then basketball for sports games. But there's a lot. There's a lot of really good sports games. 4-player, too. Because I don't know if you can tell. Where is it on... I don't see it on the 800. Where's the slots? I don't see them. You have 4 slots for 4-player games on some of the models of the Atari home system. Whoa, really? In maybe 3 to 4 months? Yeah, the memory's going up and up and up. Because Commodore 64, 64K of memory, that's the most we've needed so far for any computer game up to this point. I haven't seen a game that's been requiring over 64K. I'm waiting for that moment, though. All right, so moving on to the Apple, gaming to the core. Up to this point, we played 413 games for the Apple II and all other Apple II variants. Apple IIe, Apple II Plus. And then we got Bug Attack that they're showing us there. Hadron, sweet. Yep, we've seen it all. Twerps, and then peripherals and accessories. Apple II software. There it is. Castle Wolfenstein. Night Mission. Empire of the Overmind Strikes Again. Computer Baseball. And then that's the Night Mission Pinball, right? Yeah, there it is. With Star Blazer and Gorgon. Very well done Defender-style game there. All right, and then over here we have Radio Shack. The TRS-80 Color Computer, or COCO. Do they even call it that? I know they do in Rainbow and the other magazines. I don't think so. Oh, they show Dino War. Wait, Dino War? Isn't it Dino Wars? And then here it is. Oh, yes, that'll get people to buy the COCO. Showing them checkers. Why? Why would they do that? Up to this point, we played 152 games on the TRS-80 Color Computer. And backgammon. What? Why are they showing backgammon? They need to show Polaris. That's one of the cool ones of the COCO. And then over here we have IBM Personal Computer. Yes, we've seen this one. Or MS-DOS, PC-DOS, or PC Booter. At this point, we played 122 games on this one. Oh, man, look at that monitor for the IBM. Can anybody tell the model of that? I don't think it's the very first. It's close, though, to the very first model. It is extremely expensive. Do they have the price? I don't think so. No, I don't see it. They're hiding the price from you. You have to get an arm and a leg to do that. Oh, really? And even the 5200, that's right. Yeah, before it was redesigned. That's too bad. Yeah, we played Airstrike 2. That's a fun one. Like Scramble. Oh, and then we got to add for Epics. Sweet. There we go. All right, let's keep flipping on to the next one. No, this is this is a fun one. This is goodies for gamers. Like you got TV carts to hold all your stuff. Look at this. So this is all the things that you would need to have to hold your game collection. So think of game collecting in November 1982. This is holding all of it. This, oh my gosh, I think I had that right here. The housing. No, maybe it was this one, this game storage. Because my dad's in woodworking, so a lot of this, he'd look at it and just build it himself. That's awesome. Video game furniture. Never thought I'd see that here. Yeah, look what we have at the top. Look at that Travel Master case. to carry around. There it is, and carrying around all your stuff. Does it fit the trackball too? And then over on the right, we got an ad for Data Age. Awesome. So Data Age, we've seen 6 games by them. And there's one missing from here. We've seen all these. We're missing Journey Escape. They don't have it there, but included was the Mindscape. It's a record. You actually got a record with some of the games. That's awesome. Oh yeah, Epic's was awesome. I loved it. All right, let's keep flipping on. We have some more merch, video game merch in November 1982. I'll take some of those backpacks. Yeah, Intellivision one. What is that? Fit a stick? Breaking your... Oh, it's to put over the joystick to protect your joystick from breaking? I didn't know that was a problem. I never broke off any joysticks. And we got another third-party joystick here. The Point Master. Awesome. All right, then we got an ad for Intellivision. Ooh, the IntelliVoice. Anybody remember the IntelliVoice? That was... We played a few games for the IntelliVoice. One of them was the game Bomb Squad. This is shown here. But of course, B-17 Bomber is another one that we played. All these, at this point, we played 3 games that use the IntelliVoice. And video games have been talking to us for quite some time now here on Chronologically Gaming. 1982 has been big. Like the voice on the Magnavox Odyssey, those games are talking to us too. It's too fun. Okay, so there's one more I was supposed to hit on. Which one was it? Oh, that's right. Not yet. We'll go to that one in a sec. There we go. So after the Intellivision ad, there we go. The supercharger system. Oh, and there it is. There's the beam scope again, making the screen stretch. So the supercharger is what you use to connect cassette tapes up to the Atari 2600 to play games with more memory. And while the games took a long time to load, you played some really good ones. One of the best ones was Dragon Stomper that we've seen so far. Did they have anything about that? I don't think so. Yeah, if you're breaking your joysticks, calm down. Oh, get Gravatar, an ad for the arcade game. Gravatar is so good. Now, here's a quick clip of Gravatar. It is one of the top arcade games. It's color vector-based graphics. It allows you to essentially move around from a side view, like if you were going to play Asteroids or something to that effect. But it's what they would call a cave shooter or a thrust kind of game. And nowadays, it's basically the first game that ever did that. But it's this large world to explore in color vector-based graphics. And you get to go from planet to planet. It's really, really fun. You can see this is us going down. It was kind of hard to see. You really need to go to the arcade to get the true experience. But Gravatar is awesome. Yeah, the player's game. You bet it is. All right, let's keep going. We got Tron, more Tron, and Pepper 2 in the arcade, Tron, and then over here we got Blueprint. No ports for Blueprint. It's only in the arcade right now. It's trying to do like a top-down maze game with an objective to assemble the whole blueprint. I like it. And here we got more Tron. Yes. Over here we got Pepper 2. And what is that? Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Was that in Pepper 2 and I missed it? I don't think so. Oh, right. If they put even more in, it may have lasted longer or better. But it's because Atari wasn't prepared for the life cycle of the system. They didn't plan for the life. That's why the Atari 5200 came out so late. So it's another mistake. And here we got a Tron joystick compared to the Pepper 2 joystick. And more games you can buy. Oh, yeah, by lots of different companies. Sweet. Keep on going. Here is Neptune. This is all computer games now. Sweet. That must be for Neptune. And then Rear Guard. We played that one on lots of systems, or lots of home computers. And then there it is, Radar Rat Race. We played it on a few different home computers too. It originally was Rally X in Japan, and then they changed the name because I don't think it was licensed. And so Radar Rat Race it is. Oh, no way, they got Haunted Hill here. No pictures, though. What's the article? Where's the artwork for? Oh, it must be Haunted Hill, because you're supposed to be fighting ghosts. It's essentially like Centipede. Yeah, it's an offbeat Centipede ripoff. Sweet. And over here on the right side, we got Sirius Software. Oh, wow. All these games? Hold on a sec. Phantoms 5, Dark Forest, yep. Computer Foosball. I don't think we've seen Computer Foosball. Lemmings, yes. Bandits, Epoch, Cyclod, Freefall, Minotaur. Oh, Minotaur's a pretty cool one. Rungistan. Oh, and it shows you all the systems that Sirius is on, like we have Atari, VCS, and Atari home computer. I need to look at a computer foosball. I don't think we saw that one. All right, let's keep going. And then we have Thorium Iad, very nice. And everything we've seen here, their sub-simulation game, the darts game with way too good of music, and then the scrolling shoot-'em-up that's a boat going across the game. Awesome. Yeah, Thorium Iad is a really good one. Great company. And then we got Deluxe Invaders. I think we saw that in 1981 at some point. They're calling it the best Space Invaders program. Man, the artwork is great in this magazine. Then we have Mega Legs, too. Great. Threshold. All this computer game coverage. This is so cool. Yes, it does. If you saw on the show, Punk Rock, it just kept playing Three Blind Mice over and over again. We all had a great time, and then we went away and cried. Oh, and this is an interesting article. This is about Dial-A-Game. Did anyone do this? This is where you're calling in and playing a game through the telephone. I have no idea. I've never heard of anything like this. Showing that they're really covering every single game out there, even ones you call in. So more information. This is you calling in, and you're essentially playing like an adventure game. It's showing you the floors, how to play a 2-player game, but it's all done through the telephone. Did anybody do that? I've never heard of that until this magazine. Yeah, there it is. It's you and you and some person playing over the phone. Oh, CompuServe. Okay, yeah, that's true. If it was through that, I can see that they have the phone set up next to their Atari home computer, it looks like. Wow. Amazing. And we got to add for US games over here on the right side. Now, over here we have every game we've seen by US games except Word Zapper and Sneak and Peek, which we're going to see, I believe, in November. I think it's sometime in November we'll hit up those. Sweet. Oh, yeah, on the bulletin board systems, definitely. All right, so the strategy session has help with Chopper Command, very much like a Defender-style game. It is fun, but then we saw other games that were better on home consoles. Freedom Fighters for the Odyssey 2. I think we already saw, I think they already covered that one. And then over here we got Space Cavern by Apollo. That one's like the granddaddy and the very beginning of a run and gun, like barely a run and gun. It's great seeing the evolution of video games, like the humble beginnings, like when we saw the beat 'em up on the Puta. All right, so over here on the left side, it's pinball. Oh, yeah, so we don't really cover pinball here on the show, but this is the latest pinball cabinets. Phaser Patrol, though, is the contender for the best way to play Star Raiders on a home console. It's really, really good. It's up there with Star Raiders on the Atari 5200 that we just played last episode. And then we got more arcade pinball cabinets. What in the world? Pinball with joysticks? No way. Yeah, rapid fire. Look at that. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, flipping to the next one. We got Rocky as the pinball cabinet. Nice. And then over here is an ad for Condor Attack and Karate. We've seen both of them. Condor Attack, meh. Karate is actually not so bad. It's just harder to play. It's a novelty to play a game that's a fighting game, a one-on-one game at this point. So I applaud Karate. All right, and then over here we have a handheld. Nice. Thumb Power. And then some new products, Power Play, lots of mini ads for different things over here on the right side. Man, so many good stuff. All right, so here we go, the Supercharger. Another one with a Supercharger. This shows you how you set up the cassette tape to play on your Atari. Supercharge it with all the games, and we've seen them all. Fireball, yep, Suicide Mission, yeah, we've seen all the ones on the Supercharger system. It does improve. Majority of the games are an improvement over everything else you could play on the Atari. All right, so this is, yeah, just some screenshots of Phaser Patrol and the other ones there. What in the world is this? There's an article for the Emerson Arcadia 2001. Are you kidding me? I can't believe it. Look, this is it. I've never seen actual scans of the game. Most of the stuff I have is fabrications. It really existed. Look at that. Look, baseball. Yep, Space Attack. What is that? Jungler? What's the one up there? Yeah, it is Jungler. What? I don't think we've seen that one. But Capture we're going to be seeing pretty soon. And there's Catrax and Breakaway. I'm amazed. So at this point, we played 21 games on the Emerson Arcadia 2001. It is the lowest tier of all the games you could play for home consoles. And then we got some Q&As coming up next with Missile Command, Stampede. You don't need help with Stampede, kids. Write in about wizardry instead. Wow. Star Strike and Asteroids. Sweet. And then we got Demon Attack. Yeah, you can have some help with that. And then over here is the ending of the article for the Emerson Arcadia. I can't believe they're talking about it. At the very end, it says, that's the story of the little video game system that could. It cost $200 with an actual selling price of about half that amount. It packs quite a wallop for the buck. Yeah, the little video game system that could is better than that. And over here we got some chess robots. So this is more like half board game, half video game. I tell you, they do it all here. Over here on the far right, we can see some people playing chess against the computer. We will not be covering that except right here. This is why we do it. And then we have the mini arcade gallery. Sweet. Coleco Control 4. Sweet. So this is more handheld stuff. Awesome. And then we have the video library. And there it is. Some screenshots of basketball, hockey, and soccer as handhelds. Once again, we try to cover as many handhelds as possible in the show, but the ones we don't, we're covering here. They're part of the magazine. Very fun. All right, so then the standalone scene, we have even more. Century Chess Challenger 9. Whoa, serious. Oh, no way, it's the Bandai Crazy Climber. We got artwork for it. Hey, it's from the viewpoint of the guy closing her hands on the window to make us fall down. 49 stories tall. That's a really good handheld. Do we got a picture of it? Yeah, there it is. It's the Bandai Crazy Climber. We have seen that one. Handheld based on the arcade. And then an ad for electronic games so you can buy the magazine. There you go. And we have Sports Time. Game watches. That's something we do not showcase except right here in the magazine. We're not playing every game video game watch because those are a thing. We've seen that majority of 1982, maybe late 81 too. Sweet. All right. And then they're following up with a few other articles here. Another Epics article right there. Do they have any games? There we go. Yep, Crush, Crumble, and Chomp. Temple of Apshai. Very nice. Awesome. And a t-shirt. Yes. She kind of looks like my wife. She wouldn't be caught dead in a video game t-shirt, though. All right, then we have the reader's poll. And then coming up next on Electronic Games Magazine, what do we got? Yes, ColecoVision, is this the next generation? I would say yes. If it wasn't for that crash, ColecoVision would be on top. All right, and then over here we have, hey, there it is, just what I was talking about, the voice on the Magnavox Odyssey 2. And there he is, Wizard of Odyssey. Way too excited about the voice. And finally, an ad for Mega Mania on the back, which brings us to the end of Electronic Games Magazine, the November issue. Great read. I'd do it all over again. There's so much info in here. Be sure to pause the video on the places that you wanted to see as well. All right, that's where we got to put our video game reading on pause, or our video game playing on pause. This sadly marks the last episode that we're going to be showing, and all the video games we're going to be showing for the end of this year, 2024. So I will see everybody in January 6th for the next episode of Chronologically Gaming. We'll continue November 1982 and games till the end of the year. We still have about 684 games before we close out 1982. Lots more games to come. We're also going to be playing the games that we don't have the definite release date for that came out sometime in 1982. As always, send me messages or tell me if I've forgotten any games or missed any games. I really enjoyed all the help with some of the Japanese video games that we've added to the backlog and all the other games we added to the backlog. It's been a lot of fun. Everyone that's been here for the live show and for comments down below, all the support from everyone for Chronologically Gaming, I wish you the best and thank you so much. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, Chuckles is back with a sequel to Jawbreaker. It's not what you'd expect, though. You Can't Stop the 3D Maze craze. And on the Atari 2600, no one can hear you scream. That's it for today, and like I always say, here's to many more years of gaming. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.